Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World-Class Coaching, and with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2023, I want to talk to you about the 4-3-3 in defense. Sorry for my voice, I'm a little stuffed up, as probably most people in New Jersey right now are, it sounds like. So if I'm sniffling a little bit, my apologies. So I did another video already about the 4-3-3 in attack. It's not a formation I've generally have used in the past, but just kind of the personnel we have available right now for my team is something that it works out for us. It gives us a little more. We generally play with 3-back, and if we get cut on the wings and we feel like we're giving up too much space out there, we'll shift to this to allow us to have a little bit more width defensively and cover some of the wide areas while still maintaining a lot of the attacking options we have up top. So defensively, the 4-3-3, we can't retain this shape. It's going to be very difficult to retain a 4-3-3 shape and keep 3 strikers high because it's going to leave an open man. Now, if we can win the ball high up in the field, the 3 players might not have to drop. We can kind of maintain that shape. But if their ball is generally in our half, we're going to have to do some defensive shifts and drop some guys off. So I'll start with the back line and kind of some of their roles and responsibilities in this formation and talk about that, and then move on to some of the midfielders and then the forward players. So 4-3-3, obviously back here we got our wide players, our 3 and our 2, and their job is to maintain the be compact, but defending the opposition wingers, looking for players that are getting that are getting wide and things like that. Now, one of the things we saw in our game today, we had a situation where if the midfield gets beat because we are too narrow, this ball we got cut on a lot. Because what happens is sometimes if we don't slide enough, we can get overloaded here defensively. Where let's say this is a winger, this is their 7, maybe this is their 6, maybe this is an overlapping 2, whatever it may be. But we get overloaded here. This player's able to run on the ball, and we get a little bit of trouble, and we kind of have some issues of where to go in this kind of set. So this player is never going to get there. It's going to be very difficult for them to get into a position to get something off unless there's a bad touch or something like that. If they play quick enough, this should be an early cross. So what we started doing in the second half here, we discussed doing in the second half, we didn't do as much as we wanted to, is this player drops, this player slides back in, covers for them, but the 6 here needs to drop in and cover this area here and cover just the space in front of the back line. So we replace our back line, but if we just do that, this space is available for this player to run into. This ball can then come back here, and we're in trouble. So the 6 needs to drop and pivot here in this situation. So it's just one situation where we have a wide player getting in behind us and giving us a little bit of trouble here. And that's how you defend that. You switch the roles of the defenders and have a 6 drop in to cover. Okay, so let me clean some of this stuff up. Okay, our center backs are covering for our 3 and our 2. Let me move these guys off as well. And generally playing just a normal center back role with the 2 6s sitting in front of them. We can, say like a center back does go forward or it contests, we need to make sure that our back line is pinching tight, pressure and cover here, but then the outside players are pinching in and getting a little more compacted to make it a 3-back here in defense in this situation. All right, so we'll split back out wide here. All right, now our 6s. One of the most important things I always talk about that I think a lot of times our 6 will drift and kind of get lost in space, and we're getting a little bit of trouble here, is when 1-6 goes out wide to contest the ball. Let's say it's a 6. This 6 goes out here to contest the ball. If this player doesn't slide and stays too wide or over slides, and we have here, this part of the pitch can be completely controlled. Okay, this part can be completely controlled by the opposition, and it leaves an easy outlet for them to then go attack our center backs. So it's really important that I really stress is when 1-6 slides, 1-6 stays central and covers the middle of the pitch. They're playing center field, they're playing safety, whatever you want to talk about it. They've got to make sure they're blocking the areas in between the center mids and the back line. So the 6 can provide the width in defense that you need if the ball gets dragged wide. We can't just give up these areas of the field because we're generally going to be pinch tight. Now you might be playing a little differently without the 6, where you just have a flat 3 here, maybe just 1-6, something like this. All right, they're just the same system where this guy plays up wide, and then you make sure that we're covering here, and this guy can create stagger up here and go up here, go here. But we have someone in the deeper lying position that's an outlet, so he can receive if we win the ball, and they can pivot it, or if they try to switch to the middle, we have someone to step to that ball and cover it. All right, so, and there might be situations, we saw this a lot, where the 10 gets dragged back here. Maybe they're marking a player, and we get drawn flat. All right. Now, if the 6 has to pick up a mark, that's fine. But the other thing I liked, this conceptually I really liked, was the 6 moves up and covers the back pass. Because what's going to happen is you have 2 center backs pinched tight. You have a 6 or the 10 trailing this player, and they might look for some easy outlet. So the 6s should be picking up the outlets and not allowing them. If they're going to drive into 2 center backs, let's not stop them from making that mistake, okay? They're going to drive into 2 center backs, let them drive into 2 center backs, and your center back should be able to do the work. What we don't want is for the easy outlet pass. So these guys pinch in to cover the wide play to make sure they can't slot us. But if they try to play back on us, we step into these positions and we're covering the back pass as well. So, and even what can happen then is when we win the ball, we're in that shape where we have a 10 and our 2 6s are there covering defensively, but we have some kind of forward option to go into. So we'll move to the wide players, the 11 and the 7. Now, defensively, kind of the easiest thing to do is just drop them in deep. Okay, but that can be a lot of running for them if you want to keep dropping them up and down, because sometimes you'll have them get pulled out here and then they got to go up in here. And coaching high school, just in truncated season and the amount of games, like it's hard to ask players to run up and down the pitch like that all day. If you have 1 game a week, maybe it's something, but to ask for that from the high school game, we really struggle with it. So what we try to do is a more of a conservative shift, where 1 player will drop, 6 is covering. All right, forward here. This player covers the wide area. Maybe pinches in a little bit to cover the middle of the pitch. All right, this player shifts, be forward option. And we kind of are in somewhat of a 4-4-2, almost like you can kind of see here. It's kind of, if I just move a couple guys around, it's kind of like a 4-4-2 diamond here. We can even drop this and go to a 4-5-1 if one of the forwards wants to drop in. But that winger, the 11, however you want to define it, the high striker or winger, whatever it is, can slide in and cover that forward position. And we're kind of in like a 4-5-1 kind of role here. Now, the other thing is if you got the guys that they can run all day and they want to move, you can go, both guys drop in. Excuse me, I told you I'm struggling here. We can just drop into a straight 4-5-1. Excuse me again. And we have a 6 covering here, or even like a 4-2-3-1 with the 2 6s wide play in here, and we just drop in a little bit, and we just play more traditional defensive set here. So I'd love to hear how you kind of utilize these wider players, how you get them involved in the offense and as well as the defense, and make sure that they, how do you manage those the minutes for them? How do you manage their defensive shifts? How do you manage the work rate they have to put in? Do you drop 1? Do you drop 2? Do you pinch them in tight? I think one of the things we did was we dropped in, at one point in the game, we dropped in our 9 as a false 9 to help defensively and kind of drop in, get the ball or pick a ball off the opposition 6. And then we had these players pinch in and become the 2 strikers there. So that's one of the unique things we did. Again, that leaves you a little narrow, so you have your 6s out wide, pinch a little tighter here, like this. So I'd love to hear in comments how you utilize those wide players and some of the different ways that you utilize your 4-3-3. So once again, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching and the Help Academy Sports Coach 2023. And I hope your next session finds you well.